So today we're going to talk about crisis and how to handle one. It's no secret that 2020 has been a very, very lackluster year. You have the virus, you have politics, racism, a recession, and basically everything in between has happened this year. So how can we learn to harness our emotions and deal with these uninvited situations in life and basically get past what life throws at you? Well, let's discuss. All changes in life bring on some sort of stress. From having problems at your job to dealing with the death of a family member, life can hit you pretty hard when it wants to. But how can we deal with a crisis and come out on the other side with the least amount of damage possible? Well, when dealing with a crisis, it's important to take it one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, even 1 minute at a time. You should put unnecessary commitments on hold and focus on what really needs to be done, like trying to get an adequate sleep, eating, and maintaining your physical and mental well-being. The number one thing that's going to help you is finding support. There's a high chance that if you're over the age of 20 and have friends over the age of 20, they'll have gone through, something similar to what you did. Don't be afraid to ask for help and support when going through a tough time. That's what friends are for. They're there to help you, and if they didn't want to, they probably wouldn't be at your side. They don't have to make your meals or, clean your house for you or anything like that. They can just be an ear to listen to, or, someone to rant to, or just someone to be there and sit with you in silence. Trust me when I say that if your friends are really, your friends, they won't have a problem doing whatever they can for you. The next thing you should do is try and lessen your stress. When you experience a crisis, you probably will experience constant stress. When my mom passed away, all I worried about was how I was going to pay rent and how I was going to pay bills. And I never really gave myself time to relax and just sit and, process what had happened. And I know it's easier said than done, and it may feel difficult to, relax right when you're in the middle of a crisis, but, you can practice stress relief techniques to try and lessen your stress and, be ready for what comes next. Some things that you can do is you can try to get a good night's rest. You can eat well. You can go exercise, play basketball with your friends, go for a run, go for a bike ride, whatever the case may be. Play video games, smoke weed, do whatever you have to do to relieve stress. Some people talk to their friends, some people pray, some people watch a movie. Just do whatever you have to do, but try and stay away from things like, alcohol and, drugs and, things like that, because those are just going to offer temporary, relief, right? They're not going to solve your problems for you. At the end of the day, you still have to do those things for yourself. You also have to be patient with yourself and realize that everyone deals with stress and crisis in different ways. Some people bounce back and they're right back to normal, in the next week. Some people take 1 year, some people take 5 years, and for others, it might not ever be normal again. Really and truly, there isn't a right or wrong way to deal with anything. It's very natural to not feel like yourself or, to feel like something is out of place when dealing with a crisis, but accepting yourself and accepting your reactions will help you feel better and process things more easily. What you have to realize is that it's perfectly normal to feel tired, or perfectly normal to feel forgetful, or have the inability to focus, or, not have an appetite. Those things are perfectly normal and they're natural. When my mom passed away, I relied heavily on my girlfriend to remember things for me. I couldn't remember dates or remember times or, anything. I just waited for her to tell me who we had to talk to, where we were going, and what we had to do there. She had to remind me to eat because I didn't really want to eat at all. I just wanted to sit down and, watch a movie or, not really say or do anything with anyone. And I thank her for being patient with me, because I know as much as it was my first time dealing with something like that, it was probably her first time dealing with someone that was experiencing what I was. Now, if you're on the other end of the situation and you're caring for a friend or a relative that's going through something similar, the number one thing that you have to have is just patience. You just have to be prepared to sit and listen to the person cry, or listen to the person rant, or listen to the person be mad, or just whatever mood that they're in. You just have to be patient. I know that I probably wasn't easy to deal with, but in all honesty, I couldn't help it. I had no idea how to feel or act or, how to do anything. Looking back, I was probably changing my mind, every minute, and I was probably very indecisive and didn't know what I wanted to do. But the number one thing, if you are dealing with somebody that is going through something, is you just have to be patient. See, the thing that you have to remember is that, for that person, their world just got turned upside down. They went from having order in their life to chaos ensuing, all in such a short period of time that they don't really have time to process what happened. And, they probably don't even really know what happened really and truly, because it hasn't, registered in their head yet. It's just they're in that gray area where everything was fine, but then they realize what happened and they're kind of just stuck in that middle area where they're kind of trying to process what happened. But back to the person actually experiencing the crisis going on in their life. I know that you'll have tons of people saying that they'll be there for you and you can call them at any time and don't hesitate, and all those types of things. And I'm sorry to say this, but I'm here to bring you the cold-hearted truth. Not everyone that says they'll be there for you will actually pull through. And I'm sorry to say, but that is just the truth, and I'm speaking from experience. At the end of the day, it's up to you to pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and I guess you can say carry on with your life. When my mom passed away, my whole life basically just shattered in front of me, and it was up to me to pick up the pieces. It was my job to glue them back together and get my life back on track. It was my job to get a full-time job and pay rent and bills, because at the end of the day, no one was going to do that for me. But one thing I always tell my friends is that I'd rather experience that feeling when I was 22 instead of 42 or 52. Really and truly, the way I look at it is I'd rather get as much life experience as I can when I'm as young as possible, because then I know what's coming. It's like riding a bike. I'd rather learn how to ride a bike when I'm young, so that if I fall and scrape my knee, it'll heal nicely and, probably won't leave a scar. Or if I break a bone, I'd rather break it when I'm young so it'll heal, not when I'm old and it potentially not healing properly or having complications. It's the same way, like emotionally, right? I'd rather, as much as I hate to say it, I'd rather my mom pass away when I was young, because then I know what it feels like, so that I don't have to go through those emotions when I'm older. I wouldn't want my mom to pass away when I'm older and, when I have kids, because then, you have to act like you're being strong for them. And, the reality is that losing a parent is one of the worst life experiences that you'll ever experience. And, it's perfectly normal to feel terrible, and I'd want to let all my emotions out instead of having to, keep them inside or keep them bottled up because I have, kids or a wife or whatever the case may be. I remember that when my granny passed away, so when my mom's mom passed away, like, I know she didn't let all her emotions out, because again, I was young. I was like probably 12 or 13 or something like that. And I know that she was just trying to be strong because I was there. Like, because no parent wants their child to see them in a state like that. No parent wants their child to see them crying or to see them in a bad emotional state, right? Because then it's gonna make the kid feel scared, or it's gonna make the kid feel bad, or whatever the case may be. The reason I say that I'd rather have as much life experience when I'm as young as possible is because then I can use it as, a lesson, or say an eye opener that one day I'm inevitably gonna die. And, I can sit and cry and, whine about what happened to me or what I went through in my life or my life experiences or anything like that. Or, I can get up, I can lace up my shoes, I can go out, I can try and bring value to others and try to leave the world in a better place than I found it. The thing that you have to remember is that if you're coping with the loss of a loved one, think about how they're feeling or how they would feel. I highly doubt that they would want you to sit there and, feel sorry for yourself. They'd want you to go out and do great things and have great experiences. I can almost guarantee that my mom would like that I'm sharing my life experiences with others and, trying my best to bring value to others. And, as much as it sucked and it was sad that, she passed away, it gave me a new outlook on life. And, now I see it way different than I did before. And as always, thanks for watching, and Wakanda forever.